Everybody see what is going on right now, but they don't know my process.
I know, I'm not sure if you guys have already seen my testimonial video that went viral about 2 to 3 years ago. I was 27, so yeah, almost 3 years ago. And I just wanted to update you guys on certain things, life struggles, life accomplishments, life successes, another part of my testimony, because our testimony is always growing, our story is always growing, we're always evolving, we're always learning something. And you know, in this life, it's levels to this, you know. So I'm in another portion of my life, different mindset, a different heart, a different perception of life, and I just thank God for it. And so, who is Latresa J? We will begin.
All right. How you feeling?
Feeling good.
Feeling good?
Yes.
So, I know you to be an influencer for social media, a media coach, a youth pastor, and who has become a great friend for me. And you also serve as a leader in church. But when we take away all the titles, who is Teresa Jackson?
Oh, who is Latresa Jackson? They call me Teresa for short, of course. But who is Latresa Jackson now? Latresa Jackson is, as you can see, you guys, I have the Overcomer shirt. It's from my spiritual mother, my mentor. This is her shirt, Overcomer. And I strategically wore this shirt because this is who I am. I am an overcomer. I've overcome so much in life, things I never thought I would have overcame, places in my mind, or places even in the natural, or like my surroundings, friends, traps in life that I felt like I would never be able to escape. I found myself to overcome. It wasn't by myself. It wasn't easy. It took accountability. It took me having my personal relationship with God and trusting Him. Even when I wanted to give up, there was always something in my mind that was like, you can't give up. You got too many people depending on you. And I've grown to a place where I look at myself like, Teresa, you've come too far, you know? So I look at myself as an overcomer. I look at myself as an influencer. I look at myself as an encourager, a listener, a helper, a lover. I show love the best way I can. And I will stick to overcomer because I'm daily overcoming.
What is the biggest mountain you had to overcome?
Ooh, the biggest mountain I had to overcome. That's a really good question. I had to overcome pleasing people.
That's good.
And I've said this before, you know, me growing up, I was a people pleaser. I looked for love in all the wrong places. I wanted to be accepted when it comes to relationship, when it comes to family, when it comes to friendship. I just wanted to be loved and I wanted to be accepted. And usually what comes with that, you try to please people. You try to put yourself in a position to settle. You put yourself in a position to compromise. You put yourself in a position to do these things because you want to please people. And I say that's the mountain I've overcome because I found myself in friendships, in relationships, in general, just still unable to say no. So I'm saying yes when I really want to say no. And it's not to say no because I want to be mean, but it's because it's either I'm tired, I'm weak, I can't do it, or I can't function for myself. But I feared saying no. I feared denying people what they wanted from me because I felt like I was gonna lose them. You know, so you're talking about me, you know, now that I'm in ministry, now that I'm in church, now that I'm serving God wholeheartedly. there were times where I found myself in relationships, and I fall into sin, fall into sex to prove my worth, to prove that that guy is worthy of me. You know what I'm saying? Found myself settling, found myself compromising, people pleasing. You know, why? Because I didn't know who I was, or I knew who I was, but I didn't understand the value of me. I didn't understand that it was okay to set standards. It was okay to set boundaries. So now I'm in that place like, okay, Teresa, like real talk, you know, aim to impact, not impress. Aim to influence people. Aim to change people's lives. Even they might not like you right then and there, or they might cut you off right then and there. And some people are meant to be cut off. Some people are meant to, you know, be let go, you know, for me to let go, or they let go of me. But aiming to impact and not impress is just being who I am wholeheartedly and unapologetically, you know. So that's the mountain.
I heard you say that in part of overcoming that mountain of people pleasing, you begin to learn who you are and who you know, becoming, evolving to be. So when, if you can really think, when was the awakening of your identity?
Honestly, I'm still becoming. I'm still learning who Latresa is, who God destined Latresa to be. And becoming that person, I'm still breaking away from old habits, still breaking away from old mindsets, still breaking away from old people, you know. But I want to say that awakening came to become that person, to let go, to allow God to fully do what he's doing in my life, came when I started getting sized. Like, for real, like I started getting sized, because, you know, as I grew in God, God began to give me glitches and glimpses of who I am and who I could be and who I'm becoming. And every time I got caught up, I got to be real, every time I got caught up in self and that confidence grew, boom, them distractions came. And when them distractions come, they came hard. And one of those forms of distractions, if I could be real, it came through relationship. And so when I realized I was being treated in a way I know I didn't deserve, I was being talked to a way I didn't deserve, and not to say that I'm better, but I knew I'm worth more than being treated like that. I'm worth more than being talked to like that. That's when I'm like, nah, this can't be life. This ain't God. You know what I'm saying? And God says I'm the apple of his eye. God says, you know, I'm beautiful. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. God says, you know, he'll give me beauty for my ashes. So I couldn't understand why I still found myself in depression. I couldn't understand why I still found myself insecure, dealing with low self-esteem, when I knew I was confident probably just a couple months ago, even a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? I was good. You know, so where along the line did I come to that place where I felt like I had to compromise, or I felt like I was insecure, or I wasn't valued or worthy enough? And once I realized that, like where I came from and then back to this place, I was like, nah, it ain't happening. And I realized from there, it's like, all right, Teresa, what do you need to eliminate? What is self-evaluation? What is it in you that still attracts these type of people to treat you this way? What is it in you that still yearns for approval, or to be loved, or to be accepted? I had to ask myself those tough questions. And I had to heal from those tough questions. And I'm still healing from those things, but as I heal, I'm learning it's okay to raise the bar. It's okay to set the standard. It's okay to say no. And to keep that mental peace, to keep that mental state at peace, because that's what's vital to me, is my peace.
You went through the process where you had to evaluate. And sometimes as people, we know what we have to do, but sometimes it's hard to do it or to do or take the necessary steps. At what pushed you, or what was that moment when you was just like, you know what, I need to embrace who I am after everything that you have been through? What took you to that point? Take us through that process of embracing it.
What took me to that process of getting to that place of embracing it was I had to tell myself, for so long I've thought about other people. So that's a lot of reasons I kept going is because of people. But this time around, I had to think for self. And I had to tell myself, I can't die here. And what I meant by I can't die here, meaning like,
That's good.
I've come too far. I had to go back and look at pictures. I had to go back and just think about the messages, the inboxes, the people that I've made an impact in their lives. And I'm like, man, these people are depending on me. But then again, it was just like, Teresa, you can't die because you need you. You need you, because if I could be here for myself, then if I could be effectively be there for myself, I could effectively be there for everyone else. Yeah, everybody else need me, but I need me. So I had to take the necessary steps to take care of self, and understand, like, if you don't love you, or if you don't know how to love you, ain't nobody else gonna be able to love you the way you need to be loved until you figure out how you should be loved, until you figure out how you should be appreciated, until you figure out how you should be valued. And I'm still learning, but I'm in a whole better place. I have patience, but then I also have zero tolerance for things that I know I don't have to deal with.
Oh, that's good.
I don't have to deal with that. I dealt with it. I've overcame it. So there's no way I should be dealing with it again. So, yeah.
So what can you say to the viewers worldwide that would be watching this? How could you help them to understand that it's okay to put you first? Because, for some people, they have that mentality of this person depend on me, that person depend on me, and they are strong for everybody else, but they can't be strong for themselves. So what advice can you give them based on your experience that will help them to make that sound decision that I got to put me first?
I want to say this. It's definitely okay to put you first. The reason I say this is because through experience, when I went through my last dark phase, I had nobody there. And I believe God purposed it like that. Because for so long, I had somebody to run to. It's always something or somebody for me to run to when I would go through stuff. And it was either positive or negative. There are times I went to the drugs, I went to the sex, I went to the money to fill that void, to feel that pain when I was in that dark place. That was my only way of escape. And then there's other moments where I went to friends. There's other moments where I depended on family. There's other moments I depended on my leader, on my church. But then God put me in this darkest place ever, to the point I wanted to check into a mental home. And I've shared this several times. And I had to go through this process and this reality check, like, you need to take care of you. You need to take care of you. You need to deal with them traumatic experiences you done been through. You need to deal with that heartbreak that you're still dealing with. You need to deal with that betrayal that you're still dealing with. You need to deal with all that stuff, because you cannot operate as a leader, a businesswoman, whatever it is that you are operating in, and people come to you, whether it's you a boss, an entrepreneur, a leader, a big sister, a mother, a big brother, a father, whatever it is, a husband, a wife, whatever it is that you are doing in a leadership position, you cannot function effectively if you don't deal with those wounds. So it matters for you to put yourself first and take care of yourself, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. Take care of self first. That way you could be effectively there for somebody else, for your family, for your wife, for your husband, for your business, for your job, whatever it may be, for your friends, whatever it may be. It matters to put you first, because if you don't, you're going to die. Whether it's naturally, whatever it is, it's going to be inefficient and it's going to suck you dry. And now I'm in a place and I'm still building, I'm still taking care of self. It takes consistency. It takes accountability, because there are days I don't want to deal with me. There are days I just want to break. But then when you got that accountability, you got friends that are pushing you and be like, all right, Teresa, how do you feel today? Did you journal today? Did you express yourself today? Just people that are checking on you to remind you, all right, Teresa, get yourself to that self-check. Make sure you good. Positive, that positive surrounding, positive affirmations, put you first. If you got to affirm yourself, if you got to journal, you got to take a bubble bath, you got to schedule you a spa, do you. Because ain't nobody going to do you better than you. And ain't nobody going to love you better than you. Besides God, of course, but ain't nobody going to love you better than yourself. And if you want people to reciprocate that same energy, they're going to watch how you loving on yourself. And they ain't going to have no choice but to come correct. So I say, set the standard, keep your bar raised, love on you, put yourself first.
That's good.
And an impact, not impress.
So, that's good. It stirred up a word in me. What is exactly aim to impact, not impress?
Is this the last question? No, I'm just joking. Aim to impact, not impress. For those of you who don't know, I heard this word. We're in 2020. I heard this word 4 years ago in 2016. I was going through a very deep, insecure issue. I dealt with low self-esteem, which I've shared this before. I dealt with low self-esteem 12 years of my life, from the age of 11. Well, younger than that, but 12, 13, 14, the years are adding on by now. And that came from people pleasing, looking for love in all the wrong places, by not being called beautiful in the home. I got called beautiful in the streets, so I grew to be a people pleaser, whether it was positive or negative. I did anything to make anybody happy, to feel love. That's my heart. To this day, that's still my heart, but now nobody could take advantage of it. Anyway, aim to impact, not impress. I was going through this place and God just whispered in my ear, Teresa. I go by Teresa. Latresa, that's my name. But when somebody say Teresa, that's very intimate for me. So when God said, Teresa, aim to impact, not impress, I was just like, all right, God, what does that mean? And it was like living your truth. Live to tell your story. Even if you're disliked, even if you're judged, even if you're hated, even if people try to bring your past back up, I told you your past does not dictate your future. And so live to tell your story. Tell your story and do it unashamed, unapologetically, And from there, I took that message and I ran with it, and I wanted to spread it to everybody, to let people know, tell your story, live in your truth. Your past don't dictate your future. I don't care what you've been through, what you done did. Listen, I done slept around. I can't count on my fingers how many partners I had, and I'm keeping it real. But I tell you this much, I ain't had no AIDS. I might have caught an STD, but it was curable. You know, no abortions, thank you, Jesus. You know, couple miscarriages, you know, but I was still able to be loved. Even, you know, I tell people my past. Dudes, I tell them my past, and I still was able to be loved. I'm not married yet, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I was still able to be loved, and that's what matters. And God had to show me that. Like, people still was embracing me in spite of my past. And so he had to show me that people needed my story. People needed my testimony. You know, people needed the fact that, you know, I was out here trying to please dope dealers, trying to work different types of jobs. And where it lasts, my breaking point was when I jumped into the naked hustle, just trying to help my dude re-up. You know what I'm saying? That goes back to people pleasing. Because at the end of the day, dude ain't with me. Dude left me for another chick. You get what I'm saying? But I'm over here compromising and sacrificing, trying to impress him, trying to impress people. Whole time I'm dying. And when I got into the church, it still kind of got like that, because when I got into the church, I tried my best to fit in. But God told me, I put you in the church to clean you up, but I still want you to stand out. I still want you to tell your story. You're not supposed to, I didn't put you in the church to conform, you know, to be like the church. I put you in the church to clean you up, throw you back in these streets, and reel them back in. Tell your story, you know, and that's my aim now, to tell my story and cause other people to tell their story, because you don't know who life you're going to impact. Tell your story unashamed. Tell your truth unapologetically. You know, that's what Aim to Impact is not impressed to me now.
And moving forward, what can we expect from Aim to Impact and you as the brand, the face of the movement? What can we expect moving forward?
Honestly, Aim to Impact Not Impressed has different avenues. I have a 31-day Aim to Impact Not Impressed journal coming soon. But the whole point of Aim to Impact Not Impressed, like I said, is about getting stories out there that will help impact people's lives, that will help people get out of traps, that'll help people look at themselves differently and understand, like truly understand that your past don't dictate your future. I don't care where you come from. I don't care if you was a prostitute. I don't care if you're a drug dealer. I don't care if you're a backslider in the church. I don't care who you are. God has a purpose for you. God, everything that you've been through is not in vain. God, my apostle Regina Martin always says this: God don't waste what he has invested in you, even if it's in the dark place. Everything you're going through is a process. There's a bigger picture behind it. There's a greater purpose behind it. The Bible says, Romans 8:28 says, everything is working for your good. And you truly got to believe that. That depression was working for my good. That anxiety was working for my good. When I was taking them drugs, it was working for my good. When I was in that strip club, it was working for my good. When I was in the clubs, when I was sleeping with people, it was working for my good. I just didn't know. I was out here thinking I was living my best life. But really, God was just preparing my testimony to help somebody else get out, to give somebody else hope. Because I made it out, now someone else can make it out. And now I'm trying to bring other stories into this platform to help whatever I have not been through. I know somebody else have been through it, and they're going to help somebody else getting out. So expect Aim to Impact. And I say this, I just started saying this. You may never know my name, Latricia Jackson, but you're going to know the message behind my name, Aim to Impact Not Impressed. You may never see me, but you might see somebody's story on my movement. You might see somebody wearing my shirt. And can I be honest? I almost gave it up. I almost gave it up because I felt like I was living a life that I was still trying to impress people. And I wasn't living the message God had given me. But I thank God for people that he surrounded in my life to show me and prove to me that I'm still out here making an impact. Whether I felt like I was or I wasn't, they were showing me. The fact that I still saw people wearing my shirt, still wearing my brand, still tagging me, still saying the phrase, still living it. it encouraged me like, no, Teresa, you can't stop this movement. People are dependent on people that are influencers out here truly living a life aiming to impact and not impressing, whether it's in the workplace, whether it's in business, whether it's in church, whether it's in their homes. They're living their life unashamed. So you got to keep the movement going. And so I really even thank you guys for tuning in and even watching this, and that is blessing you, because the fact that you're tuning in, the fact that you're watching it just goes to show me that I'm still out here making an impact, and that's real. And I'm encouraging you to still be out here making an impact. Live your life unashamed. I don't care if you fall today or you fail yesterday or if you fall tomorrow. Get back up and keep living that life. Impact.
Aim to impact,
Not impress.
The takeaway.